back to W.M.S.T. This is episode number 14. Let's introduce you to the cast. It's a smaller cast this week. We've got editor-in-chief Ziggler.
Yo, what's up, Syed? Happy to talk about Endgame again. Probably our last week we're going to talk about it, so.
Yeah, yes, it's going to be fun. And we've got the man with no gimmicks, Cam.
I finally am happy that I have to. I'm finally be able to just talk to people about this movie.
Yeah, he saw it last Monday, so we're going to get his thoughts in a bit. And we've got
last
Hound.
Monday was my birthday.
Oh, yep, happy birthday, Cam.
Sup, boys?
What up, Hound? All right, so with that, let's get Cam's review for Avengers Endgame. So last week we did our spoiler talk, and we also had our non-spoiler reviews in. So this week we'll get Cam's review for Endgame, and then we'll continue a small spoiler discussion from there. So go ahead, Cam, hit us up.
Excuse me. Endgame was actually a really great movie. I saw Infinity War, and it actually, my 3-word summary was that it depressed me. And here, I thought it wasn't as depressing as Infinity War was. I actually really liked it. It was a lot more fun, had a lot more fun moments, a lot more of a fun premise. I can finally talk about the plot to it. The time travel element, I really love it. Overall, it's a movie that's basically a love letter to the comics and the films that have been made throughout the past 10 years. It's really a great movie, and the fact that it's basically raking in a whole bunch of money, it's fifth highest grossing film of all time. It's close to breaking Infinity War, and then going to break The Force Awakens. It might break $3 million by the time the year ends, and honestly, it deserves it. My rating for the movie is a perfect 10. I rarely rate things perfect because I think it's overrating it, but honestly, it earns it. But just for the ending fight scene alone.
Yeah, and your any more of your favorite moments from the week? Because I know there were a lot of moments.
Can we talk about Lebowski Thor while we're at it?
Oh yeah, of course. This is spoiler talk, so go ahead, hit him up.
Big Lebowski Thor. It was just something that I never expected, but I just want more of. It's hilarious.
I hope he's like that again in Guardians 3.
I'm also glad that Valkyrie and Korg survived the snap. I'm also like, it was actually quite out of left field for the movie to go from 2019 to like 2023. Fast forward 5 years. It's actually quite nice to see it.
Fortnite
No, we're not talking.
Popular in 5. It's still popular in 5 years. Endgame predicted it. No.
But then again, they do have a deal with the game.
Yeah. Also, Korg's controller wasn't even on when he was playing the PlayStation.
I think I saw the light.
Did you? Because I didn't. I remember the controller having no light. That annoyed me so
Okay,
bad.
let's not get into that. That doesn't fucking matter.
Right. What else? The time travel element. It's really nice how they just use the time travel element to flesh out the movie. In fact, it's really nice to see them go through different MCU movies. Like, for 3 of the stones in the movie, they're going back to the 2012 movie. I really like how they're in the 2012 movie, and right after, you see the stuff that's right after it. It's like how everyone else is interacting, and how Stark has how past Stark has an accident with his core. And one of the stones is in Thor: The Dark World, and one of them in the other 2 stones, right? It's like 2 stones or 3 stones? What stones are in Guardians of the Galaxy?
The Power Stone.
The Power Stone. And yeah, that's it.
And Soul.
That's on.
The Soul is on Vormir. That was Infinity War.
That was the 2014 timeline of Guardians.
Anyway, yeah. I'm glad that it was really nice to see them go into past movies and then go right into the go back into the current timeline. It's really refreshing, to be honest, because usually you don't see time travel movies that much anymore. Another thing that I really liked, how they're using the quantum realm as basically this movie's as their time travel version of the flux capacitor. That's how they're making time travel possible. I could gush on and on and on about this movie, but honestly, we'll be here all day.
Yeah. Yeah, sounds good. With your review, the score does go down to 10.1, but we'll just round it. We'll keep it at 10.2.
Syed,
What up?
I would like to change my score to 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Okay. So with that, I think I actually like that Sam got the shield because I feel like his character needed the shield more than Bucky. And plus, it wouldn't really make sense for Cap to give the shield uh, to Bucky because Bucky is still recovering from all the things he did when he was a brainwashed soldier.
But
So
wasn't he? Didn't he turn in? Wasn't he a captain in the comics?
he was, yeah. So both
Yeah, he
Falcon
was.
and
He used
Bucky
guns.
I
eventually
mean, I
got the
think Bucky
mantle.
is fixed though. Black Panther fixed him, right?
Yeah, but I guess in a public perception way,
The media
Bucky.
still sees him as a terrorist.
Yeah, I
Right.
know, but they have bigger fish to fry right now because everyone is back, so they got bigger fish to fry other than Bucky being a terrorist. Like we all know he's not a terrorist.
Well, I guess at the end
And
of the
just
day,
like Captain America in Civil War and Infinity War, he was known like a war criminal, and he was still Captain America in Endgame. So
yeah, I mean, I guess in a way it's just Cap's decision to give it to Sam because, and plus it was Bucky. He was also just nodding, so it was like both
yeah.
of them pretty much decided like, hey, let's give it to Sam.
Also, I think
So
Bucky knew he was gonna stay back in with Peggy.
right, they discussed it. They definitely he was
Yeah.
not surprised one bit when Cap returned.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell. I guess I didn't want to let Hulk in on it and Falcon.
Right,
The only
exactly.
thing I don't get, is how did Cap suddenly transport from the quantum machine to the bench?
He
Uh,
he. What do you mean?
Like when Hulk brought him back, he was just suddenly sitting on the bench.
Well, he didn't bring him back. He stayed back with Peggy Carter. My bad. And he arrived on that day to give Falcon the shield.
yeah, I
So
guess
you're saying
he used the Pym particles with the time travel watch they were wearing to just transport to wherever he wanted by himself. So Hulk didn't
okay.
bring him back. He went back himself to give the shield to Sam and just retire.
Alright, that makes sense.
Yeah. So another thing, so quickly, just a few more thoughts. Another thing I really liked was, you know how like sometimes uh, uh, the lover of the main character is like, you know what, you shouldn't do that. Think about us and blah blah blah. I was glad Pepper was supportive when uh, Tony was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna pursue this time travel thing. I was thinking to myself, oh, okay, she's gonna give him a whole speech of, oh, think of your daughter, think of the family, blah blah blah. But you know
Well,
what?
she even said she even knows
Right,
she
you
can't
won't be
stop
able.
him.
Right, yeah, and she was like, you know what? Okay, you go back to sleep, but will you be able to rest? She was like, and he was like, of course not. So I'm glad she gave him the final push to pursue time travel. That was a nice touch. Yes, yeah. The other point was Iron Man's death and Captain America's retirement. I think these are really defining moments for the MCU. I think these two things should really mean something. Uh, I don't think they should really try to cheat Iron Man's death and like try to bring him as an AI like they did in the comics. And I think Cap should stay retired because I think he's really earned that retirement. So hopefully they keep those two things, and hopefully they trust their roster of characters they're building to carry the next few years of the MCU. But yeah, the one thing though was the big three of the Avengers, Thor was the only one who wasn't dead or retired. So his story still continues, and I hope he gets to shine in Guardians 3 and be even more of a leader in the eventual Avengers 5, which I think will really serve his character well because he's really on a hot streak right now after Ragnarok, and I would say his character is at a is at its peak right now popularity wise. So great decision to bring him back because I know Hemsworth's contract was ending, I think after Infinity War. So I think he signed another 5-movie deal, which I think will be really beneficial because he's still so popular and his story still has to continue.
Speaking of the originals, what about Widow?
I talked about it in the last discussion. I thought her death was noble and I thought it was earned. Like I feel like it made sense why she went over the hill instead of Hawkeye, because you know how it's it's kind of a trope, like the man has to go over die for the women and the children. So
No, let me do it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like just like no, you keep going. I was like, no, I have to go. I want to be the one to sacrifice for it. I want to save the world. But isn't she getting a movie eventually?
Yeah, her movie.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be a prequel.
Prequel, yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be set in like 1999 or 2000.
I want to see what they were doing in Budapest. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, I really hope they show it.
They freaking make jokes about it in every Avengers movie. I'm like, I want to know what happened in Budapest now. I'm curious.
Yeah. They just had some tacos and had fun. That's it.
I want to see it.
Whoa.
And as for the Soul Stone, I want to see the interaction that happens between us. Like, also, hi, I'm here to return the stone. Wait, you want to take it back? You can't get the body back. I don't care. Here's the stone.
That's the interesting part. Cap probably went back and saw Red Skull, and he was like, "All right." He was probably really surprised, and he was like, "You know what? Have the stone back."
I would have loved to see that interaction again.
Same.
I would have loved to see what happened.
I mean, that's like an hour of movie Cap just giving the stones back.
Oh, I would pay to see that movie.
Yeah.
We just get that as a bonus feature.
Yeah, yes. maybe a Disney Plus show.
A Disney Plus mini movie, like an hour. That'd be cool.
Like a short film.
Yeah.
And him giving Mjolnir back to Thor.
Yeah. But yeah,
one always just left it in like a room or something.
What?
Yeah.
When Cap went to Asgard, he probably just like left it somewhere and like dipped because he probably.
I know, but it'd be cool if you just handed it to Thor, just see Thor's reaction.
Oh yeah, that would be pretty funny.
Yeah, and of course this was the last Avengers cameo for Stan Lee, and I don't know why I didn't hear this the first time, but the second time I really listened, and the words he said was "make love, not war," and I think that's a great saying from the great Stan Lee.
Flashback.
Yeah, in the 70s flashback when they went back to the old Shield, so that was a great cameo.
I still think Stan Lee's best cameo was Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, what was his cameo in Into the
Spider-Verse or the Amazing Spider-Man?
That was his best cameo, I think. It was Into the Spider-Verse when he when Miles Morales was checking out a Halloween Spider-Man costume because Spider-Man died. Well, spoilers. Sorry, my bad. And Stan Lee. You don't remember, Syed?
Yeah. Okay. When you say it, I remember now. Like he was like.
Yeah.
He was the store keeper,
fits.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, it always fits eventually, and then the sign reads no refunds or whatever.
Oh,
no returns or refunds.
Yeah, I gotta watch Spider-Verse again. That was a great movie too. Yeah, true. Yeah. So yeah, we'll miss Stan Lee with his Avengers cameos, but we can look forward to one more of his cameos in Far From Home. So yeah. All right. So
another thing.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, I think that was his last cameo. I don't think he has a Far From Home cameo.
Yeah,
that's what I heard.
It's his last MCU cameo.
Yeah, I
He's not
think
Really?
Far
yeah.
From Home.
I don't think he filmed the Far From Home cameo. I think Endgame was his last one.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that. I thought because
I
somebody
was
was
thinking
talking
Captain
about
Marvel was his last one.
it. Interesting. I
Because
actually didn't know that. I just saw like a comment talking about it, so I was like, okay, that makes sense.
Because Endgame was like filmed like a year or two ago, so
Yeah, it was filmed like 2017, I think.
Well, I guess we'll see because
yeah.
Spider-Man is Stan Lee's sole like his main
Yeah, that's his
creation.
favorite.
So
That's his favorite character, Spider-Man. So that'd be
so
pretty cool if he
I guess
was in it.
they can find a way to get him in there. So we'll see. And Cam, you had one more thing to say?
No end credit special things. I kept seeing things like we're not doing end credits, and I kept thinking, okay, I'm gonna stay in there in case y'all lying.
I
Yeah.
like that there was no end
Trust
credits. I
y'all.
loved it.
Yeah, because it's like the end of a phase. Like there's nothing
Yeah,
more to tease.
it's like it's the end of the Infinity Saga, like Kevin Feige
Like,
said.
we're done.
And
Yeah.
I think it
Yeah,
was
like, I
great
feel
to have
like
Iron Man building his suit. Like you hear like the clanging noise of him hammering the suit, or in the first
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
like I could live the rest of my life without watching any more MCU movies, and I would be fine because Endgame was such a perfect end.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't.
Point.
I wouldn't be fine. I like my comic book movies.
Right. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a perfect
Yeah.
end. Everything all
Yeah.
tied up in a bow.
Yeah. And Ziggler, you have any more spoiler thoughts you want to address?
I don't think so. Not at the top of my head. I mean, I hope that Falcon has like his like new Captain America suit. That would be pretty dope. And like the new maybe like the new Avengers or whatever they're gonna do, and yeah, that'd be pretty dope. And yeah.
Yeah. Before I get to Hound, I think this is a great time, like I think I talked about a few weeks ago after Endgame, to really take a lot of risks when it comes to the MCU movies. I know there's going to be a lot of different projects that they're developing: the Eternals, the Black Widow movie, and a Shang-Chi
Thunderbolts.
movie. So yeah, they're gonna have to take a lot of risks. We'll see. Yeah. So definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's the end of a saga, but I think it's a beginning of a new MCU with a new lineup of Avengers. So it's
Better give
exciting
me House
times
of
still.
M.
We'll see. You know,
What?
it's never say never. And Hound, do you have any more thoughts?
Yeah, like as I said, this was like a perfect end to the MCU. Like everything all tied up in a bow. And I've been reading some stuff that the Russo brothers have been saying, and they said like Cap that like it was in its own like timeline. Like the husband that Peggy mentioned during Winter Soldier was not like Steve from like it was in a different timeline, and then Steve just traveled, and something with Professor Hulk that I forgot, and or Banner was supposed to be Hulk in Endgame or Infinity War, but they didn't. It didn't fit. That's what the Russo said, and there's news that they are uh trying to make a Thunderbolts movie, and if you don't know what that is, it's basically like Suicide Squad.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds good. All right. So with that, let's go on to a topic that was requested by a few people, because there's been a lot of speculation on how we actually grade the movies. I know we give it a 10 out of 10, and then take everybody's score and average it out. So let's talk about how each of us actually does the scoring for the movie.
Who requested this?
I have no idea, but somebody's like,
I
"What
want
do you?"
names.
What?
All right, I'll
Who
send
would
you the
ask
DM.
that?
But you know what? I think it's an interesting topic though, because
Don't you
'cause-
just use a calculator?
no, not like that, but like you know
You
what's
just go to an averager website.
No, basically he's asking what constitutes a movie getting a 10 out of 10 and stuff like that. So I mean personally for me 0 through 5 pretty much means, dog shit, worst movie ever. If I give it a 5 or something like that, pretty much means, oh, there's some good moments sprinkled in, but yeah, shit overall. 6 for me is like meaning okay. 7 is good, as in like, oh, it's a good movie. 8 is a great movie. 9 is awesome, amazing. And 10 is, of course, perfect movie. But my higher score is a 10 out of 10 all time, which pretty much means, it's the best, could be questioned as one of the best movies of all time. So that's how I rank the movies. So what about you, Cam? How do you rate the movies?
I've been using a out of 5 concept whenever I'm rating like a wrestling show or even a movie since 2017, I think. Since like 2016, 2017, like I remember using the out of 10 format, but for out of 10, it's 1 through 5, it's terrible, absolute garbage. Don't ever waste your time seeing it. 6 is, it has its moments, but it's still very flawed and bad. 7 is, oh, this is good. It has its moments, has its flaws. I like it. 8 is, hold on. 8 is, I really like this thing. I really like this thing. 9, it's amazing. It's awesome. You have to go out and see it. Go out of your way to see it. And 10 is perfect.
Perfect.
And
Sounds
the
good.
out of 5 spectrum is pretty much the same thing. 1 bad, 2 3 oh, this is good, 4 really good, 5 perfect.
Yeah, I know you do rate your shows like that on Instagram, so you pretty much convert it to the 10 out of 10 we do. So that's awesome. And Ziggler?
Yeah, I mean, I guess like 1 through 3 is like total dog shit. Like you said, I'm trying to think of a dog shit movie right now. I can't think of one right now.
The Room.
Pixels, starring Adam Sandler.
What?
Pixels,
Any
he
Adam
said.
Sandler movie.
Oh yeah, Pixels. I
has
guess
With
1 through
the-
3.
Yeah, with the video game aliens. That was.
Yeah, whatever that one. I don't remember
What the
seeing that one, but yeah, sure. A 4 is like a 4 out of 10 for me is like it sucks, but it's like a fun kind to watch it, like The Room. A 5 is like what I gave Hellboy. It had some good moments in it, but most of it was shit. And a 6 was like a 6 is pretty good. I mean, a 6 is like a C plus, Yeah, like a 6 would be like Guardians Volume 2 for me. A 7 would probably be like Captain Marvel. An 8 would be Black Panther. A 9 would be Civil War, and a 10 will be Endgame.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And but yeah, Endgame was I mean, I gave it like a 9.8 at first, and then I changed it because I just talking about it on this podcast like each week just made me love it even more. So
yeah, and that's interesting because you went out of your way to say that there is no such thing as a perfect movie. That's why you wouldn't give Civil War a 10
yeah,
out of 10.
I know.
Yeah.
But well, that's not true. There is some perfect movies like 12 Angry Men or Alien, and I would even put Endgame on that list, on that short list.
Right. That is a very rare company. And Hound?
I usually base my movies on whether I would watch the movie like again. Like Spider-Man 3. Overall, it's probably a bad movie to some people, but like to me, I just really like Spider-Man 3, and anytime it's on TV, I just like watch it like all the time. So I just usually base
I
it
can't
on.
watch that movie again.
Oh.
It's a guilty pleasure for me.
Yeah, like
I mean,
like
it's
Venom.
not even a guilty pleasure for me. I just can't watch it. I don't like it.
Like Venom. Venom to me was a good movie. Like I would definitely like watch it again. I want to watch it again. I had fun doing it, and then I usually just like pick a number that like matches the feeling I have with that movie.
Oh, okay. So like the rewatchability factor is a big
Yeah,
one
like
for you.
if like the first and second time I watch the movie and I really like it, then I usually base a score off like 7. Like 7 to me is good, and then 8 and then 9, 10 are all good. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 are all like bad and shit and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, that actually makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I use 7s a lot.
Yeah. All right. So with that, let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk about Dean Ambrose. Recently, his contract ended, and he's a free agent now. So that's a really exciting thing for him. I know he's been in a creative box for so long, and he ended up releasing a video package on Twitter, no less. He has never used the Twitter account with WWE, but he ends up using it when he becomes a free agent, which is interesting. Uh, I thought it was a great video package. The return of Moxley. What a badass name, by the way. But yeah, his Moxley moniker is so awesome, and it's great to see him back on the Indies. And hopefully I'm hoping he comes to either CZW or maybe appears on AEW. That'll be absolutely insane. So I want to get your guys' take on it. So Cam, what do you think?
I've always warmed up to Dean Ambrose. He's always been one of my favorite wrestlers. In fact, in 2015, 2016, I remember being a huge Ambrose fan, always liking him. I've
Ohio
always
represent.
warmed up to him. And when this past year since he's been back, it hasn't been a good one. So I'm kind of glad that he's out of the creative box and creative burnout. Whatever he does next, I hope he does well. But I'm just hoping that you can edit that out real quick. I'm hoping that whatever he does next, he does well at. He could be at anywhere. It could be in Impact. He could be in ROH. He could be in All Elite. He could be in Combat Zone. I'm just hoping that he does extremely well in wherever he does. And as a funny little quip, he finally found his Twitter password after all these years.
Yeah, he searched for it this time. Got it verified and stuff.
He was like, wait, this is a thing? Like, why do they keep tagging me with this thing? I don't use this.
Right. And there was a lot of symbolism, right, in that video he released with the being locked in a prison and then escaping it and being chased by a big dog, aka maybe Roman Reigns. I don't know. And there was a lot of symbolism for the number 25, and a lot of people have been saying AEW's first pay-per-view is on May 25th, so maybe it's an indication, but I think it's kind of a stretch.
There's even the dice mural that was on there. Like, I keep seeing people like connect the dots and go, oh, Pepe Silva on the thing.
Right. I don't know, it's a bit of a stretch, but it'll be really interesting to see how it unfolds. And Ziggler, your thoughts?
I mean, I guess I'm hyped for Jon Moxley's return. I wasn't really a big fan of Dean Ambrose. I mean, I liked his run in 2014 with his feud against Seth Rollins. That was one of the best feuds of WWE's modern era. And
it's a shame that it fell to the ground once Bray Wyatt came in and ruined it.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. What, back in Hell in a Cell?
I'll never forgive him for that. I will never forgive him for ruining that match.
That was a great match too. All of their matches were great back in 2014.
True. Like, they made a lumberjack match great.
I know, right? What that SummerSlam?
Yeah, SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, I thought he was pretty stale a little bit, like after that feud with Seth Rollins. But I guess but yeah, Jon Moxley. I mean, I don't know what he's gonna do, if he's gonna go back to CZW or maybe go to GCW. Have death matches again. If he does, I would love to see death matches with him against like Jimmy Lloyd or Masashi Takeda or Jimmy Havoc or even Nick Gage. That would be cool. But
Imagine a death match with Maria Manic.
I mean,
Awkward silence.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people that they hate death matches, but I fucking love death matches. Do you all hate death matches?
No, death matches are dope. Like
Death matches are nuts. It just gotta have have a limit to it.
Like, yeah, I love that genre of wrestling, death matches, but like sometimes CZW does take it too far. Sometimes,
yeah, it's definitely not for the weak of heart.
Weed whackers and
yeah, sometimes they take that shit too far, but I don't care. I love gore. I love violence, brutality. But
I'm just waiting.
I would love Hound. It's not your term. Sit your ass down. I'm just kidding. Fuck you, Hound. I'm just kidding. But yeah, Jon Moxley. If he goes to AEW, great. That's a great pull for AEW. I mean, any former WWE wrestler was a great pull for them. And Dean Ambrose was a WWE champion, so fuck it. I would love to see him and Jimmy Havoc in a death match in AEW.
That would be some. Sounds good. And Hound, your thoughts?
I think it's cool. Like when you like released that video, like yo, this is so cool and stuff. Like and how he's returning to Jon Moxley. Like I don't know why everyone's like all freaking out because like WWE like they know Dean Ambrose is like a good wrestler and stuff, so they're gonna like make him not wrestle as long as he can. Because I know WWE has something where it's like a 90-day no compete clause after you like get your release from WWE or whatever. So like I do not expect Dean Ambrose to be at All In at all. Maybe at their next pay-per-view, Fight for the Fallen. I think that's the name of it. But I do not I expect Dean Ambrose to even show up like anywhere anytime soon. Maybe as a fan or in the background or something. Maybe if they change the rules. But yeah, he's not showing up like anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, y'all think he's gonna go back to wearing his trunks?
Probably
Maybe. Not. In the video package, it showed like him just wearing his street clothes.
His Dean Ambrose gear.
Yeah, I think he's gonna stick with it. Who knows? But that's what it looks like currently. But yeah, it's a very interesting development, and we'll see where it goes. All right, so with that, let's move on to our next topic. Let's talk NBA playoffs, and specifically, we got to talk about that Houston Rockets and Golden State Warriors controversy. It's been crazy this past few weeks as Warriors and Rockets are actually having a pretty great series. The first two games were really good, but the officiating became the biggest talk of the whole game. Rockets complaining that the calls weren't going their way and pretty much blaming the refs on losing game one and pretty much being down 2-0. So Cam, what do you think about what's been going on with the Rockets and this whole officiating controversy?
It's like almost every time I see something Warriors related or something along the lines of one of the best teams in the league, whether it be Patriots or even the Warriors, it's always the referees that are to blame.
Yeah, I do agree with you. Like, oh, you got 5 All-Stars, but you still need the refs. Although I do feel like Game 2 was officiated way better. And did you see how bad James Harden's eyes got after that thumb to the eye from Draymond? Did you see that?
It legit looks like he was crying for Endgame or took 420 way too far.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, that was a better officiated game, though, but Rockets have still been like, officials cost us the Western Conference Series last year, and this year they might be in, helping the Warriors win. We'll see how Game 3 goes, but I feel like it's such an interesting development with so much of the referees being blamed for a lot of things. I mean, just now, Kyrie Irving and the Celtics lost the Game 3, and Kyrie at the podium was like, you know what? It's the referee's fault. They're slowing the game down. So what do you think about the overall controversy? with the refs.
I keep thinking, what is it with is our referees showing bias and the leagues aren't doing anything about it? It's like you can't show bias for a team. It's not good.
Right, like they have to be kind of unbiased when it comes to refereeing. Like they have to just call it down the middle, especially in the playoffs. Because I mean, regular season, sure, sometimes you can have a missed calls. You can have games where you have a series of missed calls, but I feel
But you
like
can't be bird boxing for the other team.
right, exactly. Like it's crazy, but that's it. Kind of takes away focus from the game itself because we're supposed to be talking the series and how well the teams are playing and all that, but it's just becoming a talk of, hey, what are the referees doing? Oh, who are they favoring?
You can only do that in wrestling.
Right,
Referees can only be
exactly.
biased in wrestling and not the real stuff.
Right, exactly. Can't predetermine the winners there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we'll see how the series unfolds. Unfortunately, I do think the Warriors might end up just beating the Rockets within 5 games. I'm giving it 5 to 6 games. My
I,
hope is yeah,
I
my
feel
hope
like
is
they're about to sweep
yeah.
them.
Yeah, that's my big worry. If they don't come out and win the game 3, actually, you know what? If they don't win the next 2 games, yeah, it's over. Like if they lose game 3, it's over. Like there is no way they're coming back from 3-0. Like it's good night for them. So we'll see how the series unfolds. I think it'll be interesting going forward and see how this affects James Harden's bid to win a second MVP. All right, so with that, let's do our review for Game of Thrones episode 3 for season 8. I know it was a big one with the Battle of the Winterfell, and I know a lot of people had a lot of things to say, a lot of mixed opinions. So let's get our Game of Thrones guy, Ziggler, to review the episode. Go ahead, Ziggler. Give us your spoiler review.
All right, let's get down to business. All right, yeah, Game of Thrones season 8, episode 3, titled "The Long Night." I have mixed feelings about this. The majority of the episode was great. The battle itself was really good. It's just that fucking ending. The ending that just kind of bothers me, but I'll get to that later. Right now, I just want to talk about the pros, and one of them being the score. The score of the music of the episode was just so goddamn good and intense, and I loved every. I fucking love that score. I can't wait to buy it. If it's on iTunes right now, I don't know. I don't have the money to buy it right now, but hopefully I will later. But yeah, also I loved Arya in this episode, and I love like how like they kept on following her around and stuff, and I also love the chemistry between Tyrion and Sansa. Again, that was really great to see them once again. Now I want to talk about the battle itself. Now, the battle for Winterfell, the Great War, is here. The beginning of the episode, it was just near perfection. The beginning. It was first showing Samwell with the dragon glass shaking, just fucking terrified, and then showing character by character just prepping for what's about to come inside the gates of Winterfell. And outside the gates, the Unsullied all lined up, and then the Dothraki horde in front of them. And the Dothraki in front of them on their horses, with also Ghost, Jon's direwolf, and Jorah. And Melisandre comes out of the shadows and the shadows with her horse before the battle begins. She lights the Dothraki's swords. I forgot what they're called. Don't kill me. She lights the Dothraki's swords on fire with help of the Lord of Light. And then the Dothraki all charge right into battle. You can't see them because it's so goddamn dark, but you can see, and you can't see the whites yet, but you can see their flaming swords, and one by one, all the flaming swords go out. and the whole scene was just chilling and crazy. Like, now you know shit is about to go down, and the battle itself was really good. It wasn't the best. The best battle in Game of Thrones, in my opinion, is the Battle of Winterfell. This was really dark too. Like, it was sometimes hard to see what was going on, but they also did a great job using fire as light. And also, I love the horror aspects of it too. I like when Arya was in the library with all of those whites. It was just good overall. The battle was really good too. But one of my issues with that is just not a lot of main characters died. And I know it's like, what do you mean, like, not a lot of main characters die? Like, are you mad about that? Like, well, I mean, like, kind of. Like, I mean, like, yeah, sure, like, Jorah, Edmund, Beric, Theon, and the little bear died, but still, I was, like, expecting, like, more people to die, like, in Endgame. Like, in Endgame, I was expecting a lot more people to die, but they didn't. And I even thought that one of the Starks was going to die, too, mostly Arya and Bran, but they didn't. But if George R.R. Martin was still writing the books, and there would be a lot more people dead. And here's my main gripe with the episode. The big bad, the Night King, dies. I love the Night King. He was such a badass villain being built up for 8 goddamn years. He was supposed to be the Thanos of this, but no, they killed him off in just the first episode in this season. I mean, you couldn't have killed him off in like 2 weeks. It just makes that build up stupid and pointless. It makes the season 7 cliffhanger pointless. And I also wanted to see the Night King versus Jon Snow. They've been building up to that since Hardhome. I mean, I would have loved that battle. And but getting back to the pros, I also love the dragon fight scene that I forgot to mention. The dragon fight scene was so beautiful. Seeing Drogon and Viserion fighting above the clouds, the effects were on fucking point. But that ending really bothered me. Yeah, I give this. I liked the episode. It was just that fucking ending. So I give it a 8. I give it a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10, and yeah, it would have been a 10 out of 10 if it would have like left on like a cliffhanger or something like Infinity War, but no.
Yeah, sounds good. I was hearing a lot of chatter on Twitter about it, but you do clear up a lot of what I was hearing and made sense of it. So thank you for that. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, we're going to end our episode. Thank you for tuning in to episode number 14.
This is an actually short episode.
Yeah, it's a short
It really was.
It's a short one, yeah. Easier for Ziggler to edit too.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah. But yeah, we will actually, you know what, that does remind me. So for next week's episode, we will have a guest from the Instagram community joining us. So that'll be pretty exciting to see. And we will have potentially Sean versus Tyler in a W.M.S.T debate battle. So looking forward to that. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode, and we will see you next week.